Halloween Tales at Trinity House. The Cursed U-Boat. In 1917, at the height of World War I, the German High Command launched unrestricted submarine warfare, and every British merchant ship was issued with one of these. A war instructions book, lined in lead, so if the ship was attacked, the instructions could be thrown overboard and sink. These gave detailed instructions as to how to avoid the German U-boats, the submarines. And this story concerns a U-boat with a reputation for being cursed. It is the UB-65. Built at the Vulcan shipyards in Hamburg, right from the very beginning, things happened to the UB-65. 2 engineers were crushed to death by a falling girder as a keel was being fitted. 3 men who were testing the engines were overcome by diesel fuel. And on its first test run, a sudden squall caused a crew member to be washed overboard. And when testing the ballast tanks, they failed to work, and the U-boat was there 12 hours under the water, rapidly running out of oxygen before they finally worked. On another run, seawater came into the engine, causing the release of chlorine gas. And on the eve of its maiden voyage, torpedoes were being fitted into the submarine when one of them exploded, injuring 5 crew members and killing a lieutenant, a man by the name of Richter. 2 weeks later, after all repairs, the UB-65 embarked on its maiden voyage, and it was a success. It sank 5 British merchant ships. But on the second run, no ships were sunk, and strange things happened on the UB-65 that caused morale to become very low. It began one morning when the commandant caught a member of the watch crew cowering down. He demanded to know why this man was not at his post. And the man claimed that he had been on lookout and he had seen an officer on the bow of the U-boat, which was strange as all the hatches had been battened down. He called out to the man, and the officer turned, and it was a Lieutenant Richter, the man who had been killed by the torpedo explosion. The commandant was furious, thought the man was drunk, and ordered him not to tell anyone what he had seen. But in that small and confined space, word soon spread. Another member of the lookout crew crashed down the stairs of the conning tower, breaking his leg, saying that he had seen Lieutenant Richter. And a few days later, a member of the torpedo crew ran through the U-boat, threw himself overboard, saying he'd been tormented by that spirit. By the end of the voyage, even the commandant had seen the ghostly spirit of the lieutenant. When UB-65 reached Germany, the High Command were concerned. This was not good for morale, and so they called in a Lutheran pastor who performed an exorcism on the U-boat. And nothing more was reported about the UB-65 until July of 1918. When it was spotted off the coast of Cornwall by an American submarine, the L2. Before the American submarine could open fire, they noticed that the German U-boat was shaking violently and that there was an officer present on the U-boat. They could clearly see a figure. And then the UB-65 sank before their very eyes. The remains of UB-65 were found off the coast of Cornwall in 2004. The cursed U-boat is now a war grave. Discover more about Trinity House at historicenvironment.scot.